I'm Jared with RDS, and today I'm going to instruct you on how to disassemble a Panasonic JS930 in order to swap the hard drive inside the machine. Before we get started, just talk about the supplies you're going to need. Phillips head screwdriver for taking out screws, the hard drive provided by us. You're going to need a Sharpie, a pen, pad of paper, and a container for your loose screws. First things first, before we get started, what you're going to do is walk up to each terminal, touch the screen, and in the lower right hand corner you should see the terminal number, T1, T2, T3. That's important that you know that, so that's why you have a pen and a pad of paper to write that down. T1 is in Expo, T2 is in the server alley, T3 is at the bar, so on and so forth. It's important because these hard drives are going to be labeled for you. Hard drives will say T1, T2, T3. If you stick the wrong hard drive in the wrong machine, it's not going to work right. So that being said, we're going to get started here. Step one, you're going to come to the machine and actually turn the power off. Underneath here you'll see the power switch. Just flip it off, and then we're going to unplug the power cable. Set the machine back down. Now you're going to turn the machine around so it's facing you. Now, if you're not able to make it turn around properly, you can disconnect some of these cables, and that's where the Sharpie comes in. If you do disconnect the cables, you'll want to mark what ports they were plugged in at underneath the terminal. Okay, first step, there's a little plastic film right here. We're going to want to take this off. Put your thumbs on it, press it down, pull it out. Over the years, these may have been misplaced or lost or just thrown away. So some of you will have them, some of you won't. But once you have that plastic off, you're going to see two screws in each upper corner on the back of this machine. Those need to come out like so. Drop them in our little container here. Okay. And at that point, just take your finger, press down, and pull out on this little piece right here. And now we're looking at the hard drive. Okay. This top screw up here holding in this metal piece is going to have to come out. I'm going to set this aside. These top two screws just need to be loosened a little bit, probably about 4 turns. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then these bottom two screws come out completely. Okay, once these bottom two screws are out, you can just lift up on the hard drive and pull it towards you, and you're still going to see the ribbon cable connected to this hard drive. All you're going to do is just kind of pull up on this hard drive cable while you're holding on to it with the other hand, and it comes right out. Now note how it comes out, because that's exactly how the other one's going to have to come in. Set this aside, grab the other hard drive. Okay, on this ribbon cable are a set of little holes. You're going to want to match up the last two holes on the right with the teeth on the right of the hard drive. If I line up my holes correctly, it should slide right on. Okay, right on. And these two pins are left empty. Alright, once we do that, you're going to want to get this flush against the metal, pull it down, and now we can tighten the top two screws. Okay. And now we're ready for the bottom two screws to go back in. One more to go here. And then lastly, the metal piece, the first one that came off. I'm going to line it up You're going to have to hold this up with one finger and put the screw in the hole on the right. Once that's tight, we take the piece that we had taken off earlier. These bottom two are just going to line up here, pop it in, and replace the last two screws. And if you have the plastic piece, you can go ahead and replace that now. Bottom first, kind of bend it, and we'll let it go. Turn the machine, whoops, back around. Plug the power cable back in and turn the machine back on. Now at this point, the machine will either completely boot up or it might sit at a blank screen with a red power light. If that's the case, underneath here, right in front of the power cable, is a little reset button. You press that button, that light will go from red to green and the machine will completely power on. That concludes my instructional video on how to swap hard drives for a JS930.